I'm Rafa, this is Ferran.
Hello.
We are from Mantis-AI, and we are not here to talk about generative AI. That's not our thing. You think you guys just saw Luma, and you will see clean AI. They are the ones that know to do it. We think with AI and technology today is much more useful in efficiency and transformation in media. But Ferran, if you don't mind, I would like to change the script here and bring a personal story, because I think most of you were here in the YouTube talks, and this is not new. I think you saw all of these ways and paths that YouTube bring to you, to produce content producers. But I came from the digital media, digital company. You are changing the slides.
Sorry.
And in 2017, I led the content and strategic producing teams in one of the biggest digital producing companies in Brazil. We had like a multi-channel network. We had like 6 billion views in a year. That was a lot of work and it was huge. But it was in a time that only YouTube existed. So we were kind of kings of YouTube in sports in Brazil. But not so much time later, in 2020, 21, TikTok arrives, Shorts arrive, and from one day to the other, we are just lost. What will you do? We don't know how to produce this kind of content. We don't know this kind of language. We don't know this kind of formats, and we don't know even what our fans need. So what was our solution? Let's hire 30 to 40 editors, video editors. Let's create more. Let's just distribute content, but it doesn't work. It's not easy like that. But what I'm trying to say is that we tried. We managed with more experience and time to be able to provide the content that the fans needed. But I don't think today you have to pass the same way that you did in the past. I think today we have enough technology with AI and so much more that you can scale your content distribution and production in a way that you really don't know how you are able to do it, right? I think it's another time today. You don't have to suffer like I did. You can do it different, right?
Right. So what we've seen is technology moves in cycles of 10 to 15 years. We started with the mainframe that brought us the PC. The PC brought us the web brought us the mobile internet, and now we have another technology shift, which is AI. I'm lucky that I lived actually through 2 technology cycles. I started almost my career working for Netscape, so we're selling browsers, so accessing the internet from the beginning. And then I also worked for Phone.com, which is, together with Nokia, Ericsson, and Motorola, the company that wrote the standards to be able to connect the phones into the internet. So at that time, when we started, the question was, what's going to be the killer app for the mobile internet? And that, it reminds me when I was younger, traveling with my parents. And at the time, when I was young, a paper map was the way to find the places and to move from one place to another. So then with the mobile internet, what we saw is that what we were doing with traditional with paper, we brought it into the mobile. But that's just, kind of doing the same thing you were doing before, just on a digital way. At that time, we didn't know what was going to be a killer app, what was going to be the use case for mobile internet. And the phones actually came that brought GPS and also apps. And with that, things that were not imaginable when we were working on the digital map or the paper map came up. Applications like ride-hailing with Uber or Lyft, food delivery, Tinder, for example, things that we did not imagine were possible. So the question that we like to raise is, we think on the media space today, we are still kind of on the in between the paper and the digital map. We have a lot of information, but we don't know what's in there, right? We have a lot of information. We need the Uber moment. We need the Tinder moment on the digital space.
So what we're trying to propose here is a new way to see your content. Because imagine, just like the image over there, if you could handpick the exact moment that you know you have in your catalog, and just reuse it, monetize it, publish it in different ways. That's what we are trying to simply say here. And imagine what kind of new business models we could engage and new use cases if you really know what's inside your content. If you, with a simple search, you could find anything that you need or any moments that you could reuse in other ways. So we are not saying here that you need a bunch of AI tools, different ones. We are saying that you need intelligent AI to process all of your content and really make it available, make it a data pool that you can organize and you can reuse the way you like it, right?
So, what we've seen is a lot of companies that wanted to implement AI but don't know how to start. They don't know what to do. It's interesting. A couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, an MIT study came up saying that a lot of companies wanted to do something with AI, but the take up, the use cases were not funding the ROI. So today what we want to do is actually show you what we think makes sense by working with several customers. We have this kind of playbook or phased approach, which we think it makes sense. So we start on the bottom line, with bottom innovation. What does that mean? Basically, trying to do the same things that you do right now, but in a more efficient way. We are focusing on cost reduction. And then we're going to walk through the two upper quadrants to see what we can innovate. We want to find the Uber moment. We want to find the Tinder moment on media. So we are going to walk you through this playbook from what we call efficiency to transformation.
Great. And as Ferhan said, the first step is really to automate some things that you don't need to do it anymore. So you know you have a lot of manual work editing content, things that don't need the creative side of anyone. Just like this example is a highlights from a soccer match. You can easily find that a goal is important, a shot on goal is important. So you can automate this kind of production today. You can automate trailer creation for a movie. Just when an AI understands the contents and all the stories that are hidden in the video, you could direct it with rules, yeah, to just create a trailer easy for you. And so it's a manual work in some instance. And as well as reformatting content from horizontal to vertical. That's not a creative aspect. That's just a manual job. So it can be done today easily with AI. And what you're trying to be here is to be efficient, cost saving. That's all we want to share. But as the first step, AI can do much more than just faster your workflow. And Ferhan will bring now the second quadrant.
So the next step, we see this as the efficiency step, the way to generate much more content from your existing content, reformat it from what Rafa was saying, and do some sort of understanding what the customers want. I mean, on the YouTube talk, they were telling that they have a lot of tools, but it's not only YouTube. It's Twitter, it's Instagram, it's TikTok. So how can you basically generate and test and see what works and what makes sense? So the second phase, we think it's, let's create a lot of content, let's test it, let's see what works, let's see what content resonates, let's measure the ROI, and then we'll move to the following stage.
And the third step is when imagination really starts here, because we want to bring to the point here your content catalog. You have a lot of content that was already produced, so why don't you find some new moments, new ways of explore what you already produced, and adapt it to new kind of consumption like we have today, like social media and so on. So this is the way, the moments that you can search, find, and really retell some old stories. You have different ways to explore this kind of contents. You can adapt pieces of your series to different countries licensing, so they are compliant to those social impositions and so on. So here you don't just save money, you recover some money that are hidden in your content catalog. So this is the start of a transformation, the start of imagination here.
So the next step and the final one, it's the one that would be the Uber moment for media. That's the top line innovation. That's where we come up with new things that we don't even know, right? When the mobile internet was launched, we didn't know we would have a Tinder or a Uber app that would be able to leverage all this. So the idea here is to come up. We think that there are some ideas that can be interesting. For example, here we have a scene of White Lotus. So what about if I want to visit the places from White Lotus? And I'm an Air France member, and I see an ad for Air France. And Rafa uses, TAP from Portugal. Why does he have to see an ad from Air France if he's a member of TAP? Other things that we think are very interesting is hyper personalization, kind of similar to what you see on TikTok, on YouTube, where you have content that it's really relevant, right? Why can't I have my content relevant on the different apps that I see, on my different VOD or OTT applications? Another thing that we think could be very interesting is LLMs are trained on text. How about if we can extract all this data, we have all this information from your catalog, from your content, you could be licensing it to the LLM providers. If I search something on ChatGPT today and I ask, show me the scene of White Lotus of him on the beach, probably what I'm going to see is a link to YouTube, but not a link to your content. So we think there are a lot of opportunities here. We don't know. We are making guesses. We think this phase approach makes sense. We love to, we've saved a couple minutes for some questions. We love to hear your feedback. But the idea here is we are on another platform shift. We don't really know what's going to happen. We've lived before some platform shifts. We think there is a way to do it. And we see the media companies kind of moving, not only being a media company, but also being a data company. You have a lot of intelligence there. You just need a way to extract that data, to understand it, and then make use of it. Right. And here we leave with you a QR code that you can scan and download this material, this strategic material. And now we leave you sometimes if you have some question for us. We have 2 minutes here, so be comfortable to. I think, so there is a mic over there, so if anyone has a question, and if everybody's shy, that's okay too.
Hey, great chance to ask this question. I'm curious, is part of the challenge, and you broke down like the rise of mobile phones and apps, and there were all these different words we had. And what I'm always struck by is right now the only word we're using is AI. And is there an opportunity across media to start developing more specific words that describe the functions of what this technology does, so we can have more innovation and informed discussion about it? Does that make sense as a question?
Yeah, I think, so I think it makes sense in the sense that AI now is the word, and we shouldn't use AI because, it's like before when we were navigating the internet, everything was when the web came up, everything was a .com. When the mobile internet came up, it was the apps, the push notification. Nobody talks about push notifications today, right? So I think in a few years, I don't know, 2, 3, whatever, nobody's going to talk about AI. It's going to talk about what AI enables and the different use cases and the different applications that we think some of them could be this, but the audience, you guys are the creative ones. So we think that AI is not going to be mentioned. And these new cases is what we're going to talk about. Okay.
That's it.
Time's up.
Time's up.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Hi.
That you have to go and solicit those conversations yourself?
So the LLMs about shopping?
Yeah, like is ChatGPT, OpenAI, are they out there having discussions about licensing library material or advertising content or anything like that at the moment?
So I don't know specifically about advertising content, but what I know is that they just announced a couple of weeks ago, last week, some agreements with like Booking.com and I think it's Shopify, some other channels. So where, for example, if you plan I use ChatGPT to plan my vacation. So if I plan my vacation, why not already have it integrated with Booking.com and get my tickets and my hotel? Which hotels should I stay? So I think we are going to see this. I mean, it's up to the industry to make that move at the end, there are 5, 6, 7 players worldwide where you negotiate the rights and make sure that your content is in there in a way that it makes sense for you. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.